Okay, it is time for episode 2 of the Fireside Chat with Greg. To make it a fireside chat, I may as well build a fire, because that's going to be important to a fireside chat. So let's get the fire going, and then I'll tell you a very interesting story. Gonna start this fire with my old ferro rod from Patagonia. It got so thin, you can see where it used to, I broke it in half. I have started so many fires with this ferro rod. I mean, I got to replace this obviously, but I can still start the fire with this, and that's what I'm going to do. So we'll just get a quick fire going here so we can have our chat. And we'll be off to the races. Okay, well, this is nice, sitting by the fire. This is a bear story for you. It was September 2015. I was going to one of my favorite fishing spots, and I was just packing a fishing rod. That time of year I should know better, packed the rifle as well, but I didn't this particular time. I got quite a ways down the trail, and I hear this crashing coming out of the bushes. Here's this grizzly bear, and he's just charging through the bush, like full bore. And he comes up within like 15 feet of me, and he's stomping the ground. I say, oh man, wish I would have brought the gun. When the bear comes out and he's stomping the ground, it's usually an indicator that he just doesn't want you there. So I knew not to run. I started talking nice. Okay, he's not coming further. He's stomping the ground. He's letting me know, don't come any closer. That's what they do. They stomp the ground, and that means don't get any closer. You got to pay attention. You got to read the signs when they get this way. I mean, obviously, this was just a surprise to me that this bear came rushing out like that. And I'm talking nice to the bear. He finally goes away. Thank goodness. I'm telling you, when a bear comes charging out of the bush like that, it is not a lot of fun. You don't know what to do, but I knew what to do. What I mean is that most people won't know what to do. The instinct is to just run, and that's where you make a mistake, because these bears, if you start to run, they're going to follow you. They're going to chase you down. They think, well, their instinct is, he's running. What's wrong? There must be a problem, and that's when people get attacked. Learn how to deal with the bears. I've had so many bear encounters, it's just unbelievable, like hundreds of times I've run into bears and been charged dozens of times, so I do know what I'm talking about. As it turns out, the same week, within about 3 or 4 days of me being charged by this bear, what happened was another man from Alberta was hiking the same trail, same idea, gonna go fishing down at the river, up the Finley Creek. He ended up getting attacked and in the hospital. Like, he actually got attacked by the same bear. A few years later, I met this man at a Bushcraft symposium, and I get a tap on the shoulder. Who's this? Guy, he says, oh, I love your shirt. So I'm going to show you the shirt that I was wearing at the time. It was funny. You see that? What doesn't kill you only makes you stronger, except for bears. They will kill you. And he says, yeah, I love your shirt. Then we started talking, and as it turns out, this is the man that got attacked by that same grizzly bear at the same location 4 years earlier. By then I had been on the Alone Show. He knew me from the Alone Show, and we got talking, and he was explaining about how he got attacked and this and that. But I had read the article in the paper about this guy getting attacked, and it was right around the same time. So we put 2 and 2 together. This was the man that I met that got attacked by this grizzly bear. Now, I didn't ask a lot of questions. I wasn't going to give him a lecture. Oh, did you run? Did you do this? Did you do that? But he showed me it bit his leg up, his hand and arm. I seen the scars on him, and I thought, oh man, that could have been me. But as it turns out, I met that guy several years later at this Bushcraft symposium. This bear has been in that area for years. The conservation officers, they went up and investigated. You can actually Google this article. Just Google man attacked angling near Canal Flats, 2015. That was actually pretty funny. I looking at the footage here, I reviewed it, and the shadow of the sun, you can see the tripod, and it's almost like my head is right on the tripod of the camera. But as it turns out, like I say, this bear's been in that area and it's created a lot of problems for other people as well. Read the story. The conservation officers, they came up there to the scene because once somebody's attacked by a grizzly bear, I mean, they have to investigate it. They did find the bear. What they discovered also was that this bear had a buried carcass from one of the local cattle ranchers. They free roam their cattle. Whether this cow died or it killed the cow and buried it, regardless, it was just protecting its kill. So in the article, it even mentioned that the bear was just doing what comes normal and natural to a bear, protecting its kill and its food source. There you go. Very interesting bear story. That same year, I talked to a couple of hunters that were in the area, and they were elk hunting, same September. And the same bear, it had to be the same bear because they were camped not far from there, within like a couple of weeks of the same incidents that I'm talking about. The bear came through their camp, tore their tents up, chased their dogs. Now they were hunters, they had rifles, but they didn't shoot the bear that time either. They shot a couple of shots off in the air, the bear took off and this and that. I guess basically the moral of this fireside chat is like learn how to deal with bear encounters. If it's a black bear, yeah, yell, make noise, they usually take off. But with a grizzly bear that's protecting its cubs or say protecting its kill, as in this situation, that's a different story. They're a more aggressive bear. You can't really intimidate them the same way you can a black bear. Basically, all you're going to do is aggravate a grizzly by yelling and screaming and carrying on. Just be aware of that. You can't outrun them anyway, so there's no point trying. Talk nice, stand still, and then they won't think that you're a threat. So I've learned these things, and hopefully I find this story interesting because it was just amazing to actually run into this man 4 years after the situation and read about it in the papers. And I mean, it's just something, man. Don't let the fear of bears take the enjoyment out of getting out in the outdoors. Just, it's how you react. You know, like I say, I didn't carry my shotgun that time. I didn't have bear spray. I don't think about these things usually because, you know, I've dealt with so many situations, but you really should carry bear spray. I should have had my shotgun. But it's always when you don't expect things to go wrong that they do. So keep that in mind too. Like you don't anticipate these things. Like I've run into that same bear probably 3 times since this occasion we're talking about. One time I was cleaning some grouse in the same area and I seen him coming through the bush, sneaking up behind me. He was coming up this ridge. I was on a ridge and I had my truck parked. I had the tailgate down. I was cleaning some grouse and I caught something out of the side vision here, peripheral, whatever. And I looked down and here this grizzly, same bear. You can tell the same bear. He's been there for years. I know him. I recognize him. And he was sneaking up the hill kind of behind me. So I just packed up and I left. Anytime I go to that area now, obviously I carry my shotgun. Bear's still there. If you go to the mouth of the Finley Creek, when the kokanee salmon are running in the channel there, and that's why he's there. He's there for the salmon, and he's there just about every year. He's young enough. These bears live to 35 years. He's going to be there for a long time to come, so be careful down in that area if you go there in September. I appreciate you listening to this fireside chat. I got a great response to the first episode, so I'm going to carry on with these stories because I think I've got a lot of interesting stories to tell you. And I enjoy telling my stories. I really do. You can tell, I'm sure. Like, it's exciting for me to be able to tell you these true stories that have happened. And it's just exciting, like to relive them almost. you know, through the camera. So, I appreciate y'all, and thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next Fireside Chat. We're going to try to have a fire most of the times and do a little bit of cooking. Maybe if the story's too short, maybe I'll have to cook something and explain the story throughout the cook or something like that. Anytime I can verify the story, like I've got a couple stories coming up, and I'm going to have a couple of guests with me that are going to verify the story, this, that. But a lot of my stories, I'm not going to have photograph evidence. I'm not going to have people that were there to verify the story, but sometimes I will. So when possible, I will verify the story through others, photographs, whatever I can. But thanks for watching, and I appreciate y'all. You have no idea how much it means to me, your comments, and your views. I love y'all. We'll see you on the next Fireside Chat. I thought that this video was over. So I was doing the Fireside Chat about the Grizzly charge and the man that got attacked. I went for coffee this morning to a friend's house. We were having coffee and watching the news hour. And yesterday, same day that I did this Fireside Chat video, 2 people in Banff were attacked by a grizzly bear and killed yesterday. Kind of sad, tragic news. So these things do happen. Be bear aware. And hopefully you enjoyed the story, but that's kind of a sad coincidence with me doing that video and the tragic thing that happened in Banff yesterday. But I'll see you on the next Fireside Chat. I've got lots of stories to tell. So there'll always be something interesting and funny stories and whatever else. So I'll see you on the next one.